This is a life reversal game. Players need to choose one safe cage out of 6 to walk into. If they choose wrong, a 100-ton heavy iron ball will instantly fall from above, crushes the person into pulp. If the game time ends, and the person in the iron cage is still alive, it means the game is paused. Those who pass the first level of the game can gain the right to enter the Dream Kingdom. The final winner can not only receive a 100 billion prize, but also inherit the throne of the island nation's richest man. Before the game starts, the host Huajie puts the dice into the container. She rolls the dice, and the display screen will show the result. The first time it was 1 dot. The second time was also 1 dot. The third time was still 1 dot. So the question is, what is the current number on the dice? First, enter your answer in the comment section. However, the container is covered, so even Huajie doesn't know what number it is. The 6 iron cages in front each hang from 1 to 6. Players choose a low number and walk into the corresponding cage. If they choose wrong, this game is called the Iron Ball Circle Formation. The thug Dashan is instantly scared unconscious. The crowd also wants to flee the scene, but the iron door is already locked. Once you participate, you cannot quit the game. Huajie continues to introduce. Game time is 30 minutes. Those not inside the cage at the end will be eliminated. And remember, everyone before you now is an enemy. Discussing or sharing answers with others leads to elimination. The game officially begins. At this moment, everyone dares not act rashly, because it means only a 1/6 survival chance. The blonde guy nearby analyzed. The probability of rolling 1 4 times in a row is 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, 1296. 1 in 1296. So the answer should be between 2 and 6. But Dasha has a different view. He believes 3 consecutive ones absolutely cannot be coincidence, proving that no matter how the die is rolled, it will ultimately land on 1. This is a loaded die. A loaded die refers to a die that's been altered. Its center of gravity shifted, only rolling fixed numbers. Facing Dasha's self-righteously perfect answer, the blonde guy smiled faintly. Since you're so certain it's a 1, why don't you enter cage number 1 yourself? Dasha instantly backed down. Others mocked him relentlessly. Host, who couldn't bear it any longer, saying she'd give them one more benefit. That is when the game ends. Those still inside a cage, even if they didn't guess the number correctly, will still be allowed entry to Dream Kingdom. However, the prerequisite for entry is that they remain alive. A middle school student wearing white sneakers, Abiao, approached cage number 1.
He walked straight into the cage without hesitation. But Xiao Tian felt the answer wasn't that simple. There were 2 strange points. As Xiao Tian pondered, cage number 1 was already packed with people. Afraid of missing the chance to win 100 million, Xiao Pang rushed in too. Xiao Tian recalled Sister Hua's earlier words, you can still pass even if you guess the wrong number. Does that mean guessing correctly has nothing to do with winning the game? If so, wouldn't the game make no sense? Xiao Tian continued thinking. When Sister Hua rolled the dice, she only said roll the dice. And the display would show the result. She never stated that the display showed the actual dice she rolled at that moment. Her analysis was correct. During Sister Hua's third dice roll, her rolling direction was opposite to what appeared in the display video. The display was merely showing a misleading video. This disproved the basis for the 3 consecutive 1 points. The probability of rolling a 1 is 1/6, just like any other number. Hearing this conclusion, and seeing the giant iron ball above, everyone stampeded out instantly. Only Yabiao, the first to enter, remained dumbfounded inside. Xiao Tian now carefully examined the giant iron ball above cage no 2. He then stepped to the side for another look. His friend immediately asked, is the answer cage number 2? Xiao Tian replied, I just realized, but I can't think of a better answer now. His 2 friends trusted him greatly, so they followed him into the iron cage number 2 and sat on the edge. The little fatty from earlier also came over, and after learning that Xiao Tian couldn't confirm the answer either, he turned and left. Xiao Tian asked Abiao in the iron cage no 1, aren't you going out? Abiao just said calmly, this is a game of picking up money falling from the sky. This sentence was accidentally heard by Huang Mao's brother Chang Mao, who instantly had an epiphany and secretly told Huang Mao. At this time, only 3 minutes remained in the game. Huang Mao, to avoid others discovering, set his sights on Little Fatty. They secretly told Little Fatty that they had inside information, that the iron cage number 3 was the correct answer, and told him to stand in the center of the iron cage number 3. Then they deceived others who wanted to come in, saying that they were going to execute Little Fatty. This way, others didn't dare to enter. With only 1 minute left in the game, a bearded man suddenly ran out and told everyone that the answer was 5. He saw a video online that because among all the points on a die, the easiest to roll is 5. This might be an opportunity. Everyone rushed into the iron cage number 5 again. Dashan quickly followed, only to be pushed over and land on his back. Xiao Tian analyzed, after cutting the material, a processed die will create a weight difference between the front and back, leading to a shift in the center of gravity. Therefore, according to calculation, the face most likely to land upward is indeed 5. But Xiao Tian didn't think the problem lay there. Seeing time was about to run out, Dashan didn't care anymore. He rushed directly into iron cage number 4. In the final 10-second countdown, staff began closing the iron cages. Unable to bear seeing Xiao Pang used as a sacrificial lamb, Xiao Tian chose to violate the game rules. He climbed out of cage number 2, leaped into cage number 3, pulled Xiao Pang aside, instructed him to hug his knees, leaned his back against the edge, and pressed his body close to the bars. Dashan in cage number 4 also set up. Game time ended. All cages were locked with heavy padlocks. Now was the moment to reveal the final result. Abiao in cage number 1, glasses guy and his 2 friends in cage number 2, yellow hair and long hair brothers in cage number 3, along with Xiao Tian and Xiao Pang, the Peng Dashan in cage number 4, a large group of people in cage number 5, and no one in cage number 6. Sister Hua slowly lifted the cover. The die inside showed full pips, immediately except for cage number 4. Giant iron balls above the other cages instantly dropped. Xiao Tian had guessed correctly. This was never again about guessing the die's face. It tested whether one could grasp the key element hidden within Sister Hua's words. The key is not the number on the dice or the ability to notice the gap formed between the iron ball and the iron cage.
In other words, whether one can notice that when the iron ball falls onto the iron cage, a gap large enough to accommodate a person will form between them. However, looking from below, the exact size of the iron ball is unclear. Therefore, Xiaoxian did not have full confidence and only passed by luck. Deshawn, on the other hand, guessed the correct number by chance. The group in the number 5 iron cage had already been crushed into pulp by the large iron ball. According to the game rules, all those who stayed in the iron cages are qualified and have obtained the eligibility to participate in this tournament. Of course, only those who survived. Sister Hua was about to investigate Xiaoxian's rule violation. The assistant beside her secretly told her that the wealthy man thinks highly of Xiaoqian, so he was allowed to continue participating. And every game they challenge afterwards tests intelligence, physical strength, and humanity. This is a life and death game. Players are blindfolded and must choose the correct direction, forward, backward, left, or right, to jump. If they choose wrong, they will hit the solid wall in front and fall from the 50-meter high platform. Xiaoxian was taken to the platform by the staff, had his blindfold removed, and was given 10 seconds to observe the surroundings. Then put on the blindfold again, after which the platform starts rotating rapidly, first to the right for 30 seconds, then turn left for another 20 seconds, then stop after 50 seconds. Xiaoqian has completely lost his sense of direction. He must rely on the tactile paving beneath his feet to locate the platform's edge. Then he must identify the safe side. Jumping 1 meter forward completes the game. Throwing objects to test the safe area results in immediate elimination. Additionally, one person stands in each direction. He must determine safety through conversation. Only 10 minutes are allotted to consider each direction. The first person to emerge is Xiao Tian's friend, Ahong. Ahong says, "My side is safe. Jump over quickly." Facing a life or death choice, Xiao Tian hesitates briefly. He thinks Ahong is his sworn brother. If his side weren't safe, even at gunpoint he would never deceive him. Yet Xiao Tian feels an indescribable unease. He then asks Ahong's height, weight, measurements, and birth date. He's confirming it is indeed his friend Ahong. Xiao Tian slowly follows the tactile paving to the platform's edge. Just before jumping, Xiao Tian suddenly thinks of a question. He asks Ahong, "Can you check the number inside your eyeglass frame?" Ahong replies he has worn those glasses for ages, and the numbers have long since worn off. But Xiao Tian clearly remembers seeing the numbers perfectly intact yesterday when he picked up Ahong's glasses. The person opposite is an imposter he is. Damn it, they not only investigated Ahong's information thoroughly, but also used machine synthesis of Ahong's recorded voice to achieve a seamlessly authentic effect. However, Xiao Tian ultimately saw through it. Next, the second direction revealed Hiye, Xiao Tian's high school classmate. Seriously? First friends, now classmates? Hiye told Xiao Tian, "I'm in the safe zone. Jump over here. I joined this game to help you. If I wanted to harm you, why would I have risked coming out to assist you when you were being surrounded earlier?" Xiao Tian thought it over, and it seemed to make sense. He chose to trust Hiye. As he walked to the edge preparing to jump, Xiao Tian suddenly stopped. He asked Hiye to check if his toes were pointing straight ahead. Hiye peered through the opening in the metal plate, but with limited visibility. Hiye could only see Xiao Tian's knees. Xiao Tian's knees were facing forward, so he concluded that Xiao Tian's toes must also be pointing forward. He didn't realize this was actually a ruse by Xiao Tian. Xiao Tian had deliberately loosened his shoelace with his other foot before jumping. If Hiye were truly in the safe zone, his view would have allowed him to see Xiao Tian's toes clearly. Yet Hiye failed to warn him about the loosened shoelace. This proved that Hiye's claimed location was not the safe zone. So why would Hiye do this? Back in high school, Xiao Tian ranked first in his grade every semester, but Hiye always ranked behind Xiao Tian. No matter what, Hiye could never surpass Xiao Tian. During a relay race, Xiao Tian chose to withdraw to give Hiye a chance. 早就酣视早而筑好场的之塔. But this ultimately led to the team's defeat. The bitterness of being the perennial runner-up deeply discouraged him. Thus, he wanted to join the game to eliminate Xiao Tian. Unexpectedly, Xiao Tian was unbeatable. Now only 2 directions remained. Finally, the 25% survival probability became 50%. To increase difficulty, the organizers made participants from the 3rd and 4th directions appear simultaneously. However, with experience from the previous rounds, Xiao Tian devised a countermeasure. The person emerging from the 3rd direction was Blondie. He was Xiao Tian's competitive rival. Blondie told him, "My side is the safe zone." Subjectively, the enemy's answer was absolutely untrustworthy. But conversely, this could very well be the enemy's scheme. Xiao Tian asked Blondie to check if the coin he placed at the edge was 10 yuan or 100 yuan. Blondie avoided answering directly. Instead, he kept spouting nonsense to stall. Xiao Tian stayed rational and pressed Blondie about the coin's denomination. Fearing exposure, Blondie casually claimed the glare made it unclear. Our brought for extra. At that moment, staff handed Xiao Tian a special tool.